The cinema club.
Well, hello. I know we are a cinema club, a club of two, sometimes three. It depends. And all the lovely viewers out there, it's fine. Welcome to Assigned Seating. As Vera said, did you see our cinema club where we sit back, relax, and discuss big blockbusters, cult classics, and family favourites all together? Because why not? Right? Why not?
Because reality sucks.
Yeah, escapism is the way, right? We enjoy it. We enjoy a bit of escapism. I am recording from a hotel room, so that's why things look a bit different. So I am literally escaping at the moment. The vacation is going well. By the time this goes to air, I'll be back home, sadly. But the vacation is going well. Vancouver is beautiful. It has actually been the first sunny day since I've been here today, so it's been nice to get some UV. But even without the UV, it's been lovely. It's been very atmospheric and cool, and I walked out the seawall the other day and got some photos, and it feels very Twilight. Very very Twilight, very dark shadows, very, mysterious coastal town moment. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go live in the house with the vampire. That'd be my dream. Love dark shadows. Who doesn't love dark shadows? And
I even like dark shadows.
Everyone that's below the age of 60 something's like, what's dark shadows? But I'm like, shut up. Come on. It's a classic.
The Johnny Depp movie came out.
Yeah, but the Johnny Depp movie's not the show. The show is just so gothic and so melodramatic. And I have the box set of the DVDs of all of the episodes.
Wow.
It's a giant coffin. Yeah. It's a giant coffin. I got it for my 30th birthday. My friends all threw money in together, and they're like, what's something that you would never buy yourself but you really want? And I was like, oh. They're like, so, yeah. I have Barnabas Collins in a giant coffin at home. Slowly working my way through it, but I forget where I'm up to, so I have to go back to the beginning. This is the second time I've gone back to the beginning, so it's nice to go back in time, but it's also nice to come forward in time, to go back in time, and to switch bodies and to have a little bit of fun while we're doing it. Because today, ladies and gentlemen, we love a sequel over at Uncensored Horror, but I think this is our first sequel, right, on this show, I think.
No, we did something else.
Have we done a sequel? Okay, well, this, a long time waiting, and I guess something that people have been clamoring for, and it happened, and it's here, and we're about to discuss Freakier Friday. Wow. I know.
Wow.
Right? Now, I watched this a while ago, but I did just have a rewatch just to get in the mood, in the feeling. Yeah, we had fun when it was when we watched the first one, and that was a nice little flashback. And I feel like, not to knock it on the head too early, but this movie definitely plays the nostalgia cards really well and throws them out there for anyone that was a fan of not only the first movie, but just any of either Lindsay or Jamie Lee, or actually anyone in the cast, because it was billed, I think, as this big comeback for Lindsay and a return to cinema greatness, because she's been dwelling in the streaming world for a little while, making Netflix movies and all that kind of stuff. But this is her big screen comeback, and what a better movie to come back with. I mean, so loved.
Mm-hmm.
This movie's iconic. The original's iconic. And I think coming into it, that's a big follow up, right?
Oh, absolutely.
When you have all that nostalgia to kind of compete with. But from the get-go, yes, Beetlejuice. Oh, rest in peace, by the way. if you haven't heard the news about lovely Catherine O'Hara, rest in peace. And I feel like that was a nice send off, because while we're talking about these sequels, you never know when somebody's gonna pop off and disappear. And for a while there, it could have been Lindsay. I mean, her turbulent time in Hollywood is well documented, and part of the reason why this movie comeback is so special. Is that too big a word?
No, I don't think it's too big a word. But they've been talking about it for a while, but Jamie said she wouldn't do it without Lindsay.
Right, and the reason that it actually happened at all is because the fans demanded it. Jamie said many, many times when she was doing the press tour for the latest Halloween sequels that she did, that the question that she got asked in every interview was, when are we going to get a sequel to Freaky Friday? And her logic was always, we have to wait until Lindsay's old enough to have a teenage daughter.
Yep.
And 22 years later, Lindsay's now old enough to have a teenage daughter in the movie, and she has her own child in real life as well. And I think things have definitely plateaued out for Lindsay. She no longer lives in the US. She has a child. She's married, stable relationship, just stability everywhere, and she's managed to come back to kind of where she left off. But we'll talk a little bit about the performance as we go through. So this is 22 years after the original body swapping incident, where Anna and Tess Coleman did the mother-daughter body swap that is so infamous with Freaky Friday. And now Anna has her own teenage daughter, Harper, and she's a single mom. Oh. We never really do find out who Harper's dad is, do we?
They talk about him, don't they? Don't they talk about him?
I don't think they do. They talk about Anna's dad. They talk about Anna's dad.
About it.
I don't know. Mystery for another day, I guess. If you have the answer, let us know. I that's stumped my brain a little bit, actually.
I thought there was some conversation where Harper accused Anna of driving him away.
I don't know. That's lost into the memory banks. But we see that raising a teenager in any decade is not easy. And what I enjoy about this first section is that even though they're back in their own bodies, there's still a little bit of that excess personality left in both of them.
Yeah.
Anna's very much turned into her mother at the first movie, with the self-help talk and the make good choices, all of that. Like, even saying that, I'm like, they have to have that tick, and it happens twice in this movie, so it's a double tick because it's a sequel. But we also see that Tess has that little bit of spunk now, and she's doing the podcast thing. Hello. Yeah. She's got, like, I love it. It's not recording.
Chandler. Everybody's got a podcast.
Everybody does have a podcast, even Tess Coleman. She has that little bit of excess. I feel like their presences are still felt, and that's refreshing for people that did enjoy that first movie so much. It shows that those characters have learnt something. There is growth from the first movie to the second movie, because a sequel is nearly always a cash in. But waiting 22 years for that cash in is probably a long wait. But Tess is doing well. She's kind of adapting to the modern world, but keeping her personality.
She's also grown into the character too. The characters both have grown up. Anna and Tess have grown up into the characters, let the characters become grown-ups.
Yes. And Harper is now the tearaway teenager. She's a surfer, which is okay. We'll go with that.
There's lots of those in Southern California.
There is. It is Southern California. We've got to remember that. But she has a nemesis, Lily Reyes, who just happens to be the daughter of what will become Anna's new love interest.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for this first section, it took me a little while to get into this. I'm not going to lie. I was like, okay, I guess trepidation when it comes to this kind of stuff. And when you're kind of entrusting the movie into new hands, new younger hands, but they are great. The whole cast is fantastic, and the performances don't really expose themselves until later in the piece. I was like, okay,
Yeah,
this is pretty
I
typical.
there's a slow burn in the beginning,
Which is nice. I get, like, for a comedy, and this had the option of going really slapsticky really quickly and being almost a parody of the first movie, but it's trying to establish its own identity. I mean, we've re-met Tess and Anna, but they're spending some time, and I think that might be part of it when we're trying to understand Harper and Lily. Lily and her dad Eric have moved from the UK to find greener pastures, I guess, after the death of Lily's mother. Parallel to the first movie, of course, just swapped over. Mm-hmm. We see what you're doing there, Disney. We see. But after they meet because of a very unfortunate incident in chemistry class, Anna and Eric fall in love. Oh. And even here, I was a bit concerned about Lindsay's performance. I was just like, oh, I don't know. I've seen some amazing Lindsay performances, and I've seen some ones that make you go, oh. And I guess, again, trepidation, because you don't know where you're meeting not only the character but the actor at this point in their life when she has been away from the industry. I mean, she had such hype in her prime.
Attributing that slow pace to Lindsay. I was kind of faulting the script a little bit.
Okay, it could be a little bit. I think I was such a Lindsay Lohan fan when she was first time around. You know, I have the albums, I saw all the movies, I did all that thing, and I was like, oh, and followed her subsequently, and be like, oh. And again, you were just talking about the strength of a script. Did you see the Elizabeth Taylor Lifetime movie?
I can't remember if I did or didn't. No.
Where Lindsay plays Elizabeth Taylor from
no, I didn't.
young to old, and you're like, oh, but I really think it was the script and them trying to do things on a budget that they made. They probably needed a bit more budget to make Lindsay look like.
I've seen a couple actors go down with the script, and I was nervous about that in the beginning.
Right?
Like, oh, is she going to go down with the script?
I must say the counselor or whoever they see, is it the principal? It would be the principal, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
she's funny. I feel like there's some great like side cast, supporting cast performances in this movie. She's like, we should all go on a date. We're trying to making reservations for them when they have their little meet cute in the office. Right. It's very cute, very sweet. But we flash forward to 6 months later, and Eric and Anna are engaged, much to the dissatisfaction of the soon-to-be stepsisters. But I've got to say, this first part of the movie is all Jamie Lee.
Yeah.
You forget how strong a comic actress she is.
Mm-hmm.
She is so funny. I have Parcheesi and Boggle. Oh, the sound of the dice. She's just... I love... And I guess it depends on where you know Jamie Lee Curtis from primarily, and... because of my genre fandom, I know her as Laurie Strode. You know, there is very little lightness in Laurie Strode, except for the first movie, the first half of the first movie, when she's a normal teenager before her psychotic brother comes and kills everyone she knows for the next 40 years.
Right.
That'll bring you down, I guess. That'll give you some feelings. But seeing her have fun, and I think that's been a bit of a part of the Jamie Lee renaissance, which has happened too. Because think about how much she's done in the past 5 years when she'd kind of been away for a while. She's
Well, she
won
just,
award. She's
move away from Hollywood and move into her family for years.
raised her family, but she came back with a vengeance and is
Mm-hmm.
now an award winner
Mm-hmm.
and very. I feel like she's finally got her flowers as her own entity. She is a nepo baby, undeniably, but
One
she
of the
stands on
first,
her own.
as far as
Right?
we
Yeah,
know.
one of the biggest, I guess. One of the biggest when you
The OG
have Hollywood
Nepo baby.
legends, Hollywood legends as parents. But I feel like in the last 5 years or so, those Halloween movies, pretty much everything she's done has been gold star effort, really.
Yeah. Well,
I didn't.
as a performer, as we get older, we lose that self consciousness of youth. You know, it's easier to step out of yourself and just be foolish and big and crazy.
And she takes those chances. Even at the end of the movie, the blooper
Yeah.
reels are very very funny. I would watch more of that. I
Mm-hmm.
just think she seems like somebody. Not only is she very professional and passionate and fierce, but she seems like she just goes with it.
Oh,
What's the
yeah.
joke? Yeah, sure, I'll go with it. I'll run with it. And she is very much incorporating that cool grandma moment.
But she also is married to Christopher Guest, who made a career on those easy,
Yeah,
overplaying the moment, you know?
yeah. But yeah, this first part definitely, I was like, Jamie Lee. I'm smiling even thinking about it now. Just every little second that she's on screen, you're like, oh, cute. And they got Mark Harmon back. He got old. He got old in the last. But
Everybody got old. It's
but I
22
feel like just
years.
ever since he stopped doing NCIS, he got a little bit older real quick. It's like,
Everybody got
okay.
old.
Hi,
He was
Mark
getting his
Harmon.
daily
Like,
facials. Come on.
yeah, it's probably stopped the Botox and whatnot because he's not on TV every week,
Yeah.
every bloody day. There's always a rerun of NCIS on somewhere. Somewhere. No, back to it. The girls are basically enemies at this point. Harper wants to stay in LA. Lily wants
Mhm.
to return to the UK. And their diverging lives kind of are tearing a little bit at the seams of their parents' relationship. It's nice to see different paths that they take as well. It's good to see Lindsay's character from the first movie is still there. She
Mhm.
has left. She has left Pink Slip. She's now a music executive, fostering the next generation, and she has another famous / infamous movie mother playing her boss. It's a nice little crossover. You're like, oh, Elaine's there. Yeah, there she is. And she's still been a bitch. She's still been a bitch. And she's had a nice little career renaissance as well, Dancing with the Stars, and then doing this
Yeah.
movie. Everyone's clamoring for a Parent Trap sequel, so you never know. You never know. I wonder if Lindsay's got a bit of a thing playing twins. Parent Trap, I Know Who Killed Me.
Yeah.
Oh, spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! If you haven't seen I Know Who Killed Me, I don't think many people have. But interesting movie. Lindsay does horror. Tick. I'll tick that one off. Check it out. It's very David Lynch. Very It's a
Oh,
weird movie. It's a weird movie,
I
but
may
I
like it.
liked it. I liked it a lot. But they have to, I guess, try and put their differences aside until the bake sale.
I was.
The bake sale is
I don't
breaking
think they
point.
tried that hard. I think the
I
bake
know
sale was
it's
the
a thinly
build.
masked. I do love the mime.
Yeah.
That kid could have given it a bit more on the food fight, though. Who doesn't love a movie? That was a very 90s moment, 90s movie moment. High school food fight.
Yep.
I do love all the rules. Every table must have a nut-free option, a gluten-free option, a red dye-free option. It's just like, well, yeah, the world has changed. The world has definitely changed. but the girls end up in detention with
Again.
the teacher from the first movie that has Lindsay in detention. It's again, this I think the strength of this movie is, well, one of the strengths of this movie is the ability to have the returning cast. So many of the people from the first movie, even if it's for 5 seconds, are in this movie, and it gives you a sense of grounding. And you're like, oh, I know where we are. I know who these people are. Because even when we get to Anna's bachelorette party, we see the owners of the Chinese restaurant from the first movie, and they are hilarious as per usual. They were one of my favorite. A little less culturally inappropriate this time. I think we dialed it. There's no big gongs.
Well, they had to be.
We have to update. The more things change, the more they stay the same. But we can't do some things. We can't do some things. Madam Jen.
Yes.
I can't with this woman. She's just made a career on that awkward vibe, hasn't she?
Yes, she has.
Seems to on Saturday Night Live, on Will and Grace. But so good at it,
yeah.
And just such a nice little, I guess, gentle poke at the satirization of the psychic who's a Reiki healer who's also just happens to have a business card business.
Every new age.
Every new age. Yeah, ticket. And of course, a business card for each one because she has a business card business. But they have a psychic reading, a palm reading, where Anna and Tess are like, yeah, sure, until we have an ominous warning. An ominous warning, which shakes them a little bit, until Harper and Lily also have a separate palm reading to find out what's going to happen. How will we survive this? What can we do to make it stop? Usually a individualized earthquake is a good symbol to stop anything.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, just have a little stop. But we, the audience, know what that earthquake means. So when they have
we're shocked that it came back.
when we have that forced sleepover at Graham's house, and we wake up the next morning, this is when the party starts. This is when I was like, oh, okay, they're all gonna go great guns with this body swap. Because not only is it a two-way swap this way, it is a four-way swap this time. Anna swaps bodies with Harper, and Tess swaps bodies with Lily. Jamie Lee, how does Jamie Lee Curtis play a teenager so well across 2 generations of teenagehood? She is hilarious. She is so funny as Lily, Tess Lily as we'll call her. But she delivers again, chewing scenery. I think this is kind of, I was like, oh, how's anyone going to match up to that? Because she knows what movie she's in.
Yeah, oh yeah.
100%. She's playing for the backfields.
She is
in everything
fearless.
She does.
She is fucking fearless.
But I do love the callback. While the original swap duo know what's happening and are freaked out, we do see the new swap duo doing the original freak out. And I love the conversation that goes on behind.
Right.
and then you just see them run at each other, and like, that doesn't work. That was a great callback. I love that we got that callback, and there are just so many moments that work that they've referenced and updated to make it happen. The makeover is always an interesting thing as well. And all the tissues, why are there tissues everywhere? So many tissues. She's freaking. Just, I guess, the acknowledgement of aging. It's something, especially, I think, that the people that were the teenage audience to this original movie can definitely relate to now. They're like, oh, my knees, oh, my back. And they're like, oh, that happened really quickly. That really happened. Yeah, that happened really quickly in those 22 years that we became the people that we were laughing at. But such is life. And they take this moment to really let each actor have a moment to shine. I think it takes a little bit longer for the younger girls to shine, but when they do at the end of the movie, I was like literally going, oh my god, this is really good. I was like, had a few little misty moments at the end. I'm like, oh, you girls are great. And they deal with some heavy stuff, but we're not in the heavy section yet. We're in the fun times, right? We're in the fun times
we're
where
bordering on the heavy section. We're getting there.
yeah. So the mission is to track down Madame Jen and reverse the swap. But for Harper and Lily, it's to stop the wedding. Mm-hmm. Hilarious capers ensue. Hilarious capers ensue. As hijinks. We love a hijink, right?
Yeah, we love a hijink. Good old-fashioned hijink.
It's definitely a moment for. This is where I start to see Lindsay come back now. You're like, oh, okay.
Yep.
She's coming back. I can feel it coming. She is very comfortable, I think, when given permission to go that way. And I think it's very obvious later on when we meet the character.
Once you get to the transformation where they switch the body switching, then all bets are off. Then they have to go big. You know, then they can't live in their independent moments. You know?
Yeah, it's not so. It's a hyperbolic assumption of character, and that's when you think about
that.
The thank you.
Heady film school kind of term.
I know. I'm getting my film studies and my drama. When you think about not only playing a character as an actor, but a character then playing a character who you've played before but is aged up,
right,
or down. That's a process that I think, and these two ladies are now both playing teenagers. Lindsay reverts to that teenagehood quite well, I think, because it was a prominent phase in her career.
I was going to say it was the bulk of her career.
She has a lot of reference points. You know, you can go back and watch those movies that she starred in, and she can look at herself as a teenager and go, all right, because even the way she speaks changes, and like the way she holds herself changes because, you know, posture. So I was like, oh, I'm seeing sparks. Sparks. But when she has to play, oh, this is hard to say, play Ella playing Anna as an adult is interesting too, because she's still got that fish out of water thing, but she can jump between the two worlds, as can Jamie. I feel like they're different, and Jamie has always had a very soft spot for Lindsay. You can tell. I think that their performances are very similar in that way.
Yes.
Right. They feed off each other so well as a duo, and now part of a foursome. So what do you think about these younger girls giving it? Because this is the big conversation. How do they match up in the body switch that we've already seen?
Oh, good question. Let me think. Well, the Lily character, the obsession with youth and beauty really kind of drives her character, and moving into the oldest of the two older women, you know.
I think that she definitely has probably the bigger part to play.
Yeah.
Like performance wise, it makes it easier in a way to play
Mm-hmm.
big,
Yep.
whereas Ella has to kind of be a little bit more nuanced and pull back. But there's a depth that she's a fantastic actress, actually, when it
Yeah.
comes to the dramatic parts. I was like, oh, you always, I don't know, in the, we've had this conversation on Uncensored Horror. We kind of went through a generation of actors that weren't probably the best actors. And
Well,
we've like when we went to those like mid 2000s when everyone was on a TV show and they couldn't really get out of that TV show kind of moment.
here in the States, we don't train our actors like other
Mm.
countries do. I've had this discussion many a time. Um, American actors are not stage trained. You know,
Yeah.
the stage trained actors in this country are a minority.
And sometimes it is hard to branch out of that world either way.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes stage actors have a problem with pulling back to make a more intimate performance between a camera because it's a very different thing when
It
you
is a
have an
very different
audience to
thing, but
feed off.
the stage training really does allow you to embody a character from your toes to the top of your head. Whereas movie actors who've been trained only in movies, they can emote with their face, but nobody knows what their hands are doing the weirdest fucking things sometimes, you know?
It's it's an interesting concept because a lot of I think of some of the actors that came up from TV that graduated to movies, they're really quite good. And I think it come especially like those older TV series where it's like 23 episodes a season. And I think about someone like Sarah Michelle Gellar or Nev Campbell, Jennifer Love Hewitt, those it girls from those shows where they had big characters that had big arcs and big emotions. They are able to portray those. I mean, if you look at, for example, Nev Campbell, someone who we're going to talk about on
Right.
Uncensored Horror very soon because the release of Scream 7, she's had a career that has gone all over the place. I mean, Party of Five was one of the most traumatic TV shows you could ever come across, and something horrible happened to that girl every week when she was Julia Salinger. Then she
Right.
goes to a horror movie and has turned into a horror movie icon because of the strength of her acting. And you follow her to Lincoln Lawyer, to Wild Things, to all that. She is always consistently good. Jennifer Love Hewitt, as much as people want to, write her off, is consistently good in everything that she's done.
Oh, I'm talking more along the lines of like big screen, big blockbuster
Yeah,
type actors, like the
it's
Julia
hard to pull it.
Roberts
Yeah.
versus, Olivia Colman, or whom else I'm thinking of.
Classic T theatre, I think we're trying to say.
Yes,
Like
classic
a Sir
tea.
Ian McKellen,
Yes, yes. You know,
Maggie, all these people.
people who are developing a character and not just
Judy Dench.
spewing spewing dialogue. Every
Yeah.
award season, I'm an award season junkie, and we're
Yes.
starting the madness. But every award season, there's always a reporter going, "Oh, could you tell me why British actors always win the awards?" And I am always in the audience screaming, "Because they're stage trained! Because they're stage trained!"
But yeah, I think you can't take anything away from these four ladies. They have definitely
No, that wasn't where I was trying to go
embraced.
with it.
Yeah, no, no,
Anyway,
no. I'm
yeah.
just trying to get back to where we are, back to the conversation we were having. We took a little detour there, but that's okay. The way that they are able to jump between the two personalities and mesh the personalities, you can tell that they've A, thought about it, and B, spent time with each other to try and adapt mannerisms and speech patterns and all that kind of thing.
Right.
It's very evident that they've spent the time. They haven't just come to set, spewed out the lines, and gone, that is what it is. Because we have Anna playing the maternal figure to also a pop star,
Mm-hmm.
Ella, and we learn that she hasn't really put her musical aspirations aside. It's just like life. As you grow up, your dreams sometimes have to go on the back burner for the things that you have to do. So she's still writing music, and Ella discovers a song that she loves, a love song, which is assumed that Anna wrote about her dreamy ex-boyfriend, Jake. Cue Chad Michael Murray, who, hello,
I know.
hello, where has, what, I don't know what voodoo has gone on there. Still looks damn good. And what I like about this installment, it wasn't about getting his approval or his attention this time, as it feels a very female centric story this time around, and more about identity,
right,
of self than defining, my boy, that boy is dreamy and I want that boy, which was a little bit what happened in the first one. I love that he still has a thing for Tess.
That is my
He's just cannot get over it. Cannot get over it.
My favorite thing about this movie.
And her just popping up with all those heads on the vinyl covers. Sade, Britney, Madonna. It's like, oh, I see what's going on. You are so funny. And this is where Lindsay trying to seduce him as the daughter is so fun. Bite your lip. Like she goes. It's kind of like, this is where they said, she was like, okay, you know what? You want this? I'm going to give it to you. And she went there.
Yep.
That was some funny stuff. And not to be outdone, of course, Jamie Lee's on the ground. What are you doing down there? Stretching. But like, they I just, they need to probably do more together. I don't know how we get Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay to do another movie together, but we need to do another movie together. I think it'd be good. I'd be down with it. So the seduction doesn't go well. The seduction does not go well,
and it shouldn't.
And it shouldn't, because even though
it shouldn't.
Yeah, they have.
It's not the story.
But they haven't. This is the thing. They also haven't cut each other out of their lives completely. She's there. It's a little to our knowledge to sign some pink slip stuff for an auction. They are still involved in each other's lives, and I guess that's it's
your ex. There's plenty of exes you can stay friends with.
Sometimes. let's not put a generalization on that. Sometimes.
I said plenty. I didn't say all.
But the girls that are the mums, the mum and daughter team, escape detention to try and track down Madame Jam. Of course, that's Starbucks, right? That's meant to be Starbucks that they go into and find her giving warnings. They need to change their hearts. That is the big warning this time around. Change their hearts. Instead of walking in each other's shoes, this time it's about changing hearts that change minds. Harper / Anna now has to attend an immigration interview to see if they are capable and suitable to be married and thus get Eric a green card. The immigration lawyer,
sure that they're
it's a real one.
Yeah.
The immigration chick's fucking hilarious as well.
Yep.
She sings Chumbawamba. You're like, okay, I feel that. And this is where Harper starts to actually see that Eric is not the bad guy. He genuinely cares about her mother, but also her. Also her. We get a really sweet moment later on where we realize he's taking surfing lessons to be able to, link up with his stepdaughter a little bit closer to relate. And that's a really nice thing, I think. It's especially in real life, when we think real life and these moments where families try and merge, a lot of people don't go to that effort. They worry more about the parental relationship sometimes, and that takes precedent. It's nice to see to see people caring about
Right.
the kids, even if it's not, the front and center story. It shows you he's a good guy. Not only does he love the mother, he wants the daughter to like him / love him
Mm-hmm.
anyway. And yeah, I thought that was a nice little tip to
Yeah.
give him a little bit more character too.
And it
He
also
really,
it gives that Harper character a chance to grow a little bit.
yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. And
the
this is
Harper
where
slash Anna.
Harper / Anna. It's hard to track. It's 4 times.
Yeah.
You got to go four people. But Eric relates that he thinks that LA is the best space for all of them because they need a sense of belonging after the death of Lily's mother, and he's struggling to find that in a place that is so full of, which again, super relatable, struggling
Mm-hmm.
to find your new normal after your normal gets ripped away. But all of this makes Harper have second thoughts about ruining the wedding, which is their big plan. They've been cancelling things left and right. We didn't talk about the dance sequence, but it's pretty good. He can dance.
That was pretty fun.
The guy that plays Eric, could dance a little bit. I'm like, you go, boy, you go. And I guess that instructor is supposed to be some kind of Australian New Zealand hybrid. So, I don't know what accent that is. It's a little bit of both, so we'll go with that.
I was thinking New Zealand, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's a little bit of she kind of has the twang, and then she goes, but New Zealand. It's like, oh, okay. I think she's looked at maybe Fat Amy from Pitch Perfect and gone, that's what I want to do. But again, do you know who's hilarious in that scene? The choreographer's assistant, who really has nothing to say. She has no lines, but she's in the background chewing the scenery. I love that.
Yeah.
I think for anyone that's been an actor too, you try and make the most of the part that you're given. And I have made some of those choices in shows that I have and stuff that I have been into that you got to steal. You got to have a moment. You got to try and get a moment.
Take it.
You're like, what? Hey, I might not have a line in this scene, but you're going to notice me, and then you never know what that leads to. Sometimes it leads to more. And you're like, well, glad I went with my instinct.
Sometimes it leads you to another part.
Yes, expanded parts. We like that.
No,
so Lily.
go ahead.
Yeah, so Lily invites Jake to the rehearsal lunch because that's a fly in the ointment, right?
Mm-hmm.
She thinks that Anna still has feelings for Jake, which she obviously doesn't. I think we are bearing the lead with the test Jake because it's like, no, he wants mom. He doesn't want the daughter. I don't think he ever really wanted the daughter, to be honest. I don't think he was ever that interested. Which is a weird moment. A little bit more appropriate now that everyone is of legal age.
Mm-hmm.
But we had this conversation. He was of legal age. He was the teacher's aide in the first one.
Yep.
He wasn't a child, which is important. The scene that kind of halts everything is very emotional. This is where the emotions start to come in. You realize these are big. The things that they're going through in this movie, even though it's kind of not really a kids movie, and this is hard to define because who is this movie for? The audience is obviously the audience of the original film,
Mm-hmm.
but it also has enough story to appeal to a younger audience, but it doesn't shy away from these older, more mature themes. Not that they're like hugely dramatic.
I think the older audience is the target, and the younger audience is the hope.
Yeah, I think but I think they managed to grab both.
Mm-hmm.
When we get to these scenes where they have to deal with these bigger emotional things, especially the scene where they're trying on the wedding stuff,
right?
And you can see, and it comes down to the strength of Jamie Lee Curtis. You can see her really heartbroken about that, not having that mother-daughter, not having and never having that mother-daughter moment of the wedding dress. Like, as you see it play out between and Harper and Anna, obviously, but for somebody that has lost a parent, that has that realization that that's never going to happen for them, and then to be in the place of, in the body of a parent seeing it, and Jamie Lee is just so strong. You're like, my heart broke a little bit there. I was just, oh,
Yeah, it was definitely a
that's a
moment,
sad moment.
a
That's a
beautiful
sad
moment.
moment. And there is a lot of that coming up too when we see just how, again, heartbroken Harper is in Anna's body. Lindsay, you're like, oh, Lindsay can act. She got them. She got them chops. They're in there. They're still in there. It's not. It's a
She was
skill
a
that
Disney
may have been
kid.
dormant. It may have been dormant for a little while, but given, again, as you said, given the right script and given, I guess, a director and a cast that will support it, she can go there. And by the end of the movie, her performance is really super, super, super strong. Like, she gets that brattiness, but she gets that fragility as well, and not a fragility that is an older fragility. It's that realization moment where as a younger person you go, oh God, I made a mistake. You can
Vulnerable.
see
I
that
like
in, yeah, you can see
vulnerable.
it. Yeah, big vulnerability. And even her daughter, the actress that plays her daughter, this is kind of where she really steps into her own in a dramatic sense. She's got those tears. She's like, she plays those scenes really, really well. Like, the relationship between those two is as strong, I think, as the Jamie Lindsay relationship that they had in the beginning in that first
Hmm.
movie. There's a strength there, but you don't really see it until now when they have to deal with these headier emotional moments. And again, a very nice little moment on stage at Ella's concert where we get the reveal of what the song is about. Ella has been obsessed with the song and wanted to perform it, and secretly lined up the rest of Pink Slip. And millennials everywhere are screaming that Pink Slip are back. Pink Slip are back. They're back. They're going to perform My Baby on stage, and it was always assumed that it was about the lost teenage love, but it is actually a mother-daughter love song
Yep.
dedication. That's a really nice moment.
That is, it's a beautiful twist.
But the moment happening off stage as well with Lily and Tess is just, and probably a little bit more special because both of those actresses are amazing, and you can kind of see the heartbreaks trying to reach out to each other and heal a little bit as the younger actress and Jamie Lee are just, they are very in sync
Hmm.
with their performances and can mirror each other so well. So of course we get the obligatory musical moment, and it's good to see Lindsay back on stage singing. I like Lindsay Lohan singing. So shoot me, I'm a Low fan. As I said, I have the albums. She does owe the record company one more album, so one day we might get it. She's done a little bit of music. So she did a song for, I think, Santa Baby or something, for the last Netflix Christmas movie. She's done music for this. You never know. Might get more. She's got a good
You might.
rasp. I love a good.
You might
I
have it.
love a good
You might.
rasp. I like a good rasp. I'm sorry. She makes me happy. But we have Eric seeing, I guess, him seeing Anna on stage after all that heartbreak reawakens something. But Jamie Lee throwing herself on the hood of the car. Stop the engine! The engine isn't on. she, but she's able to go from that highly comical moment to a very intimate, intense moment with him, and he delivers as well, just admitting how lost he is, trying to parent through grief and his own grief and his child's grief and finding a new normal for them. I know I've said that a couple of times, but it's a great scene. And then
Yep.
having Lily in the background as Tess seeing it all, it's yeah. I think the writer of this script deserves a big tick, because I think in lesser hands this could have been very hacky and just kind of one note. But when the halfway point hits, we start to get some bigger issues, and the revelation of everyone's roles and what they've learnt comes to fruition. Another one of those I guess the earthquake is a little bit more easy to hide in a rock concert too.
I guess I'm just coming to this listening to your take on this movie. I guess that slow burn in the beginning was really necessary to establish all these ends. You know,
well,
and I really
I did a
didn't think that
rewatch
until
just before we started. Yeah, I just did a rewatch
really
before
think
we
that
started.
until
So
listening to you talk about it. So
yeah,
yeah, it's an
it's
intentional slow burn.
yeah, it's hard though because you have to address the nostalgia. You have to introduce new characters, and you have to introduce the relationship between the nostalgia characters and the new characters, and then give them a stake to work for. That's a
Right.
lot to get through in the first half of a movie, where everyone's like, "Do the body swap, do the funny stuff,"
Yeah.
and we want to see people. We want to
Put
see
the
them
old
like
woman on a
shooting.
motorbike.
Yeah, we want to see them shooting for the stars and surfing and doing the fashion montage. We want to see all that stuff, but it means more at the end that they've taken the time to do that at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we get the happy ending, which is
That's what you want. It's what
it's
we
a
go to
Disney
the
movie.
movies for.
It's a
It's
Disney
why you
movie,
go to the movies.
right? Right. They end up back in their own bodies, happy days. The
Back
end.
in
I
love.
think back in love and as sisters and as a family, and
And that's
it's all very
mother
fitting and very
daughter.
cute.
Yeah.
Mother daughter, and we find out that that old lady fetish might be a thing for Jake. I love that. I love that the chick that he met at the wedding has Jamie Lee's hair from that first
And
movie.
was
She's got
wearing the
that
rainbow dress.
the dress. She likes your dress. See, it's like still wants her approval. It's very fitting. But I think that's kind of that's the end. But there are so many moments that you need to see this movie for. I think Jamie Lee Curtis in the essentials aisle
Mm-hmm.
at the, at the drugstore grabbing everything. And where does this go? Oh, my teeth are gonna fall out. The adult diapers, how lazy. It's, and Lily go, my knees don't hurt. And when they go through their junk food, there's like a whole little segment where the adults just are like, I'm still hungry. I can eat. I can eat this. I can do. We all go through that. We all lactose and all that kind of stuff. They ticked all the right boxes. The lip plumping.
The lip plumping
The
was
lip plumping,
priceless.
which kind of ends ends the movie. Run, okay, and it was it kind of it ended everything with a smile on my face.
Yeah.
For the
Yeah,
trepidation that
absolutely.
I went into, everything at the end, I was like, they have ticked every box that I think they needed to tick. I don't think there is anything I would change about this
No.
at all. For a movie that comes so late after the first one, and knowing that how much, I guess, behind the scenes stuff it took to get here, there can sometimes be a little bit of disappointment when it comes to these legacy movies. But this one stands strong next to the first one, and I think that the audience thought so too. I mean, it isn't the box office of Days of Old, but from estimated budget of 42 to 45 million, 153.2. That ain't bad
That's not
in this
bad.
modern day where things debut across multiple platforms and streaming and Disney Plus and all that kind of stuff, and
This did.
people don't go to the
This didn't
movies.
have a
And
big presence in theaters.
there was a lot of hype when it came out, though. I remember when it came out, and that's the reason why we did the first review. I was like, there is so much hype around this movie, and I think it met. I think it met it. It definitely did not disappoint.
No,
I think.
it did. I wasn't disappointed. I did not start with an open mind, but my mind was
No.
opened by the end. I was, you know, in love with the characters by the end. I was
Definitely,
charmed
yeah.
by the story by the end. It
Charmed
was a
by
slow
everyone, but
it
yeah,
was it was a slow move forward for me, but I loved it. It was good.
yeah, and surpassed expectations. And I just read this now. It was the highest grossing comedy movie at the domestic box office in 2025.
Nice.
So nostalgia works, as much as people are, because everything's getting a remake these days. Or,
Mhm.
well, I think no. Let me rephrase that. Everything's getting a reboot slash requel these days. I think people have finally realized after we went through this big remake phase that people don't want remakes of movies they love. They want continuations of the characters they loved in those movies. And I
Yes.
think we're getting stronger for that kind of thing. That's why stuff like Dexter, Buffy, all those things that have come back or are coming back, they have an inbuilt audience that love these characters, and you've got to do what this movie did and find the core of what it is, but also find a way to grow it out and make it something other and available and accessible to a younger audience that isn't just that's an old person show. Because we're old people shows now.
Some of us older than others.
Some of us older than others. Well, Jamie Lee, they were asked on the press tour if there is a willingness to do a third movie. Jamie Lee Curtis says she doesn't think she has another 20 years, but if if it's there, it'd be imagine if they were talking the very big options of a 6-way swap. So that would be, so you'd have Tess, you'd have Anna, you'd have Ella, and then you'd have, I guess, Ella's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And look, that could happen sooner. She could adopt someone. She could have a foster parent or something like that. They
Yeah.
are the young cast are quite young. They actually hired people close to teenage age, which is
Well, Lindsay
they
was
seem to be
teenage
doing now.
age.
Yeah, I know. They kind of
Yeah.
got out of that phase of hiring 42-year-olds to play teenagers.
Yeah.
But there's a possibility. I think, and I think the audience would love to see it. And I guess it does, as we were just saying, it does get harder when cast age and things happen. Thankfully, sometimes you get a Beetlejuice moment where you can have one of the really prominent stars of the first movie to come back. And the good thing about Catherine O'Hara's character in Beetlejuice is she was given an ending.
Yes.
So as sad as it is that she's gone, that character got her happy ending and the story can progress without her. I don't want to think about life without Jamie Lee Curtis because we can't have that yet. We can't have that yet.
She and I
So
are too close in age.
we have to hope. I would see, and Jamie teased the title "Freakiest Friday," which I guess swapping 3 generations is pretty freaky, pretty freaky. But this has given way to more nostalgia. There's a new Camp Rock movie coming out. I saw in an interview just yesterday because it is now the 20th anniversary of High School Musical for those of us old enough to.
Wow.
Yes, there is an interesting cultural moment where we are now as far away from High School Musical as we were from Greece in my age. I know. So the elder millennials are struggling. We are struggling across, and the millennials probably more so. Sorry, the Gen Z are probably. I don't know. Gen Z. I'm on the cusp, so I feel Gen Z's pain, but I'm not that. I'm not that sad about it yet. But there are. I guess that's the point of these nostalgia properties: is that you can tell who's in power now. We want the millennials want things that we loved from our childhood back. We want to feel that feeling of safety and familiarity, even down to the resurgence in music. And I don't know what's happened over the last 3 or so weeks, there's been a big upswell in Britney. Everyone wants Britney Spears back. People are looking at her career and what she's done, and there are other pop stars and the fashion. Oh my God, the fashion is back. The
It
fashion.
always
Oh,
comes back.
and I don't know if this was the same for your generation, Vera, but they've chosen the worst parts of our fashion. They're like, this looks great. I'm like, oh no, girls and boys, no. It wasn't good when we wore it.
There were some fashions that came back around from my high school days that I was very nostalgic for. I thought they worked. I thought they were looks that should have got more respect.
We had some shockers. I'm walking through clothing stores going, oh no.
You guys kind of liked a lot of neon.
Yeah, but they've kind of really gone for those wide leg jeans and those big denim skirts and the butterfly tops, and it's like, oh wow, okay, kids, you went there. The shirts, the long shirts underneath short t-shirts, it's all coming back. I'm like, oh my God,
we're gonna thought that would come back. We're
going to be popping collars again. It's like, oh wow. And the fact that New Balance shoes are shoes that when I was growing up, your dad wore New Balance shoes. They were so embarrassing. Because I teach teenagers, I teach kids. They're like rocking in their New Balances. I'm like, I wouldn't be caught dead in those. But apparently, if you wear Nike or whatever now, you're a boomer or you're old. So it's like, thank you very much in purview of this movie. It's like you feel the generational pull, I guess.
Okay, boomer.
Yeah. You feel I mean, we're not even Karens anymore. The Karens are now Jessicas. That's the new thing. Yeah, Karen is out. Jessica is in, Karen is out. But this is what makes Freaky Friday and Freakier Friday work. That interplay between generations, and as dissimilar as we are very similar. And in the end of the day, it's all about love and respect and all that kind of stuff.
Family.
And family. And it just put it was a feel-good moment, this movie. And I think, especially at this time, we might need it. So if you haven't seen Freaky Friday and you want a little pick-me-up, I 5 stars. I can't even say there's anything wrong with it. 5 stars. Well done.
Start, but in the end, I appreciated all of it.
Yeah, it makes sense in the end, and we're all good. Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today in the cinema. It's been a while, but we will be back sometime soon. I have a plan, and I think we're going to need a guest for it, but I'll talk to you more about it later, Vic. It's a bit exciting. But we have some really good stuff coming up, and I have a very, very special interview coming away in a few weeks. So if you are a fan of one of the movies mentioned in this podcast that might have a sequel slashing its way into cinemas soon, you might want to keep an eye on Uncensored Radio. But until next time, dust off the popcorn off the seat, pick up your belongings, and make it to the car safely. Right. See you soon, guys. Have a good one. Bye.